Welcome to the Filmistines, the podcast where we discuss all things movies. Join us as we dive deep into the latest releases, revisit classic films, and explore the art of cinema. Whether you're a film fanatic or just love a good flick, we've got you covered. From Hollywood blockbusters to indie gems, we'll be breaking down the storytelling, the cinematography, and everything in between. So grab some popcorn, sit back, and get ready for some cinematic magic. If you like what you hear, please consider subscribing to our Patreon at patreon.com/filmistines. We offer tiers at the $1, $5, and $20 level, where the $5 tier will grant the ability to request films for future episodes. This is the Filmistines, where movies are more than just entertainment, they're an experience. And welcome back to another episode of the Filmistines. Thank you for tuning in today on this very fast-paced episode.
Fast-paced episode?
I'm joined today by my speed racing friend, Lucy.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, how are you today?
I'm great today.
You can join us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for brand new episodes of the Filmistines. Some previous episodes include our coverage of 2008's Iron Man, the new Blue Beetle movie, the new Slaughterhouse movie, the new Netflix El Conde movie, the movie that couldn't count down fast enough, Countdown.
Got him.
But today we are covering a very anticipated film of mine, for really only one reason, because it's a video game movie. But Neil Blomkamp's Gran Turismo, the sort of video game movie. Not really a video game movie, but it has some video game tethers. But did we or did we not like this movie? Did I like this movie, Lucy?
I don't know. It's hard for me. I don't think you liked it, but I think you will at least applaud them for the attempt. Yes, I'm going with that because I have no clue.
I think you liked this movie because you started to tear up at one point.
Damn.
So,
that's not even fair to say, is it?
Yeah, if a movie makes you cry, that means you like it.
That's true. That means I was engaged, at least.
Yeah, this movie was a complicated watch on some level. Because I guess I'll come out of the gate saying I think this is a little bit of a guilty pleasure movie. I enjoyed this movie much more than you might think. Like, on paper, this is not a movie for me. It's kind of a sportsy movie. It's a movie that's inspired by a game to some degree, and it's not super
like flowy.
Yeah, it's not super well paced,
yes,
which is funny. No pun intended. It's got weird plot points, but I enjoyed this movie all the way through.
Okay.
I had a good time watching it. So it's kind of it lives in a complicated space in my mind where I'm not, I maybe will place it a little better here after talking about it for the next few minutes. What are some of your high level thoughts on this movie?
I did enjoy this movie. I didn't like the first act of the movie. I'm not sure where you would say it cuts off, but for me, I guess it cuts off when he wins the qualifying game he had to do that he was late for.
Yeah, that's the first act.
Okay. I didn't really enjoy anything related to that.
Yeah, I think they had a hard time narratively getting this movie going.
Okay.
I do think that because they threw us in the deep end, connecting these characters very quickly, and it's just like, who are these characters? What do they want out of each other? And they're really just plot devices.
Mm-hmm.
And the only real character here we get is the Stranger Things cop, I feel like. What's his name? David Harbour. So it was just like a weird tone, and the weirdness coming out of the parents.
Yes.
Was just off. Like, it wasn't off, because I did like the angle. We don't really get it in anything, but I did like the cinematic angle or the cinematic take of, you're just playing games, son.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, that's funny. We don't get an awful lot of that being like a real plot point.
Yeah.
It's usually just a throwaway joke.
Right.
But it was echoed throughout this film like crazy.
Yes.
To a like self-mocking kind of way. And it's just like, what's that? feels like something, I don't know, from Grandma's Boy from the early 2000s. Like, that's like, it feels very kind of out of place, bringing it up over and over again. The parent, especially the dad, being like, because the dad lived a similar life where the dad ran a kind of a similar gamble where he wanted to become a soccer player, and he did. He went pro, and it didn't turn out super great for him, I guess. And it's a similar kind of dream to, for a gamer wanting to become like a pro gamer, or let alone make the jump from, driving simulator, to a pro racer. So it's, I don't know, it's kind of an interesting collection of angles there, and it works for me. It carries the first act, I think. The rest of the first act is just not okay. Like, it's borderline bad, especially when the kid is not with his dad or in his room and like dreaming about what it would be to be a racer and stuff. But when he's with his brother, or when he's with his friend at the gaming cafe and stuff, it's just like, oh no, this feels like a bad video game movie again. Yes.
So I'm with you on the plot, on what moves this story forward. I'm with you on that. That's clever, or at least it's something we haven't seen a lot of. Maybe not necessarily clever, but I enjoyed that. It's just something about the delivery wasn't there for me in the beginning from the dad. I think it was, it was just too much. Like, okay, you've told him that like 5 times. Like, I'm surprised this kid hasn't run away from you if you keep saying that. Like, I'm surprised this kid's not shutting the door on your face.
He almost feels like he would.
Yes. Like, okay, all right. And then just the scene where he's with his friends and the brother, and they're, I guess, out drinking in the alleyway.
I don't know what kind of party's going on there.
He runs from the cops. What is this?
Yeah, you gotta wonder if that's a cinematic liberty, or is that part of the actual story? Kind of like, it reminds me of that race, that it reminds me of that chase scene in Tetris. Remember, towards the end, they're all in the car and they're running from the KGB or something like that, and it's just, that obviously didn't happen. Did this happen?
It's a good question. I don't know if it did, but Tetris did it better than this.
And they had a little bit of fun with how it was shot and stuff too.
Yeah, they did.
I remember that.
They did.
It was
and
cute.
I think that's what also turns the first act over for me, is the fun they had. And with the visuals and, our iconic PlayStation noises.
Yeah, I was a little mixed on the bringing the game to real life visuals. I feel like it's a good tether to have, because we can't forget, kind of like what we were talking about with, I can't remember exactly what we were talking about, that, but just kind of like the instances of, like, you have a situation and you are brought to the dance by a specific thing, narrative plot point, and then you forget kind of who brought you, and then you start dancing with someone else, kind of thing. You know what I mean? That kind of, I can't remember what we were talking about, Iron Man maybe. But Gran Turismo, the game, is the core of this story. Brings all of these people together. It makes the movie happen, right? And so there needs to be a heavy-handed tether to it on some level, and I feel like they do it pretty tastefully.
I do too.
Minus everything we see of the actual game. Like when they were looking at the screen, just at the very beginning, basically, it's just like, what the fuck is this? It looks like what you would see in the early 2000s. People used to play fake games.
Games?
In movies and TV shows.
Oh, yeah.
It looked like that.
That's funny.
But so why don't you just play like that? Why don't you just scroll through the actual game? I know it's not the proper Gran Turismo that this guy got, his big break on. I think Gran Turismo 5 was that game on the PS3. But they didn't really show any Gran Turismo. I guess they just showed that it's the PS5 version, which is Gran Turismo 7, I think. Which is not a big deal, but why didn't we just see the Gran Turismo 7 scroll through screens and stuff and everything? I thought that was a little weird. But the sounds, I never had realized how similar the PlayStation sounds are to the Gran Turismo sounds. They might be the same.
So they're not PlayStation sounds?
I don't know.
they sounded like PlayStation sounds to me because I don't know Gran Turismo sounds.
When those popped up, I was like, holy fucking shit. I don't know if that's Gran Turismo or PlayStation. It dinged in my head that they are very similar sounds. Kind of like that also reminded me of how the PS3 like font typeset is Spider-Man typeset. It's just the same. It reminded me that there's kind of a weird through line right there too. And I was just like, what? I was just like, this is. I don't know if they're identical sounds or like if they're kind of the same like so-called soundtrack or something. But it does kind of make me appreciate PlayStation knowing that how important Gran Turismo is to the PlayStation ecosystem. Because Gran Turismo is, I don't know if you know, but it's, as a franchise, the most sold PlayStation game.
Holy shit.
And Gran Turismo 1 is the most sold PS1 game on the PS1. Sold over 1 million units.
Did it have a wheel on the PS1?
Oh, I doubt it. But maybe. I don't know.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and then Gran Turismo 3 is the most sold PlayStation exclusive game on the PS2 as well. So Gran Turismo it's a big deal. Now, other games kind of, for some reason, gaming culture allows for games to sell 20 million plus units today. So Gran Turismo doesn't really talk to that side of the community, but it's still, they are consistently turning out, 10, 15 million units sold kind of thing. And so Gran Turismo is PlayStation's kind of high school sweetheart in a way that always kind of stuck around, at least in a friendly way. So it's cool. So I liked where the car formed around him.
Yeah.
You like that?
I like that. And when you were talking about the seeing the game, there was a bit where they pushed the cart out while he was customizing it.
That was super cool.
That was
I liked
really cool.
that. So but then why couldn't we have just seen the showroom of the game? Because you scroll through your cars and stuff, and it's like really cafe, sleek, sexy car music. Why couldn't we have just kind of seen that? Because it's a really sleek looking game. So there's not a lot of games more beautiful than Gran Turismo. And aesthetics and, kind of graphic, and like aesthetic style and just graphical kind of fidelity. So I don't know why we couldn't have just gotten that. It looked cheap. And then when he won and stuff, when he did the race, it looked so cheap. I was like, why the fuck does this look like this? I was like, I haven't played Gran Turismo 7, but I can guarantee you it doesn't look like this.
I know. I couldn't quite place what about that whole scene just wasn't clicking with me. It was like the most anti-climactic, like the most anti-dramatic scene, which that's not supposed to that's not supposed to happen here. I'm supposed to be excited for him. I'm supposed to be cheering him on. But I mean, even I didn't realize about that, which now thinking about it, yes, it looks weird. The game itself looks, I don't remember any games that you play, but I know you play games, and I never remember the weird title to them. But it's that game, I think you made me try it. It was...
Oh, Slipstream?
Is that it? I don't know. I can't even tell you. Like, that's how I was seeing it in my mind. So on another note with that scene, I mean, it was weird. Like, he was working with his dad because his dad was going to teach him a lesson about how he would end up working at whatever that was, railroad place. I don't know.
Yeah, that was a funny scene.
That was weird. It was just weird.
It's probably the most awkward scene of the whole movie, actually.
Okay, and then he's got 10 minutes left to get to the game, and I thought that whole bit was just so off.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. Because even at the train yard or whatever, wherever he was working, his dad and him, like, there was a lesson to be learned there. This is your future son. If you don't straighten up, get a plan.
That was kind of cool, Dad.
I mean, yeah. But like, just like, but he just ran away, and his dad was just like, oh, like, can never get to this guy. It was weird. It didn't feel I guess first of all, it didn't feel like it was supposed to be a first act scene. It felt like you don't learn your lessons in the first act of anything.
Well, he didn't learn his lesson. He ran away.
But yeah, and then him getting there, and there was just kind of build up to some kind of climax. But also there's not, I mean, there are like your mid climax bits in every movie, and that was technically one of them. But it was so weird, and I know that's partially because, you know, it's just, I mean, I wouldn't want to work on this kind of movie coming from the angle of trying to make this game kind of feed into some kind of drama piece. And because it's just, you can't, games are hard to describe in that way. You know, you really need to play the game to get it. I mean, some people love watching people play games, but that's probably because they understand games on a very deep, fundamental level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not about to watch anyone play a game.
It's like,
no.
I mean, the closest thing in that way, I feel like it's kind of like music. Like, you don't describe music to anyone. You don't, you know, you recommend music, and then that person, you have to go listen to it to know. You know what I mean? Because it's not like a movie or a book where you can get the kind of the point across by just telling someone in a few sentences, and then they can go get it. A game is a little different than that, you know, especially when you're talking to someone who doesn't play games.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it does come across awkward, even coming from someone who has played many hundreds of hours of Gran Turismo.
Okay, well, that's good that it wasn't a situation where, well, you kind of had to know to get it.
No, it
was just bad.
Yeah, it was, man, I don't know how else, because they needed to get this kid in front of this. They needed to get this kid involved in this tournament type situation to, you know, give him the chance. So they had to build up that this was his life and this was going to be everything to him and stuff. So you can kind of see that being the first act, and it ended up being that way. And then the academy was the second act, and then the actual racing was the final act. So the acts are kind of laid out naturally. So
I almost feel like it would have been better if he was just out to lunch with his dad, and then he gets that reminder that he has to fucking go. He's like, sorry, Dad, I gotta go. Like, this is my life. Like, you know, something like that. Because maybe we got from one awkward-ass thing to this thing that they didn't quite deliver on, so it made it more awkward than it should have been. I don't know.
Yeah. And that might be one of those things where that specific situation actually happened, and they felt like they needed to get that in the movie. They didn't want to spice it up too much.
But you have to get you have to make your movie flow well. If it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit. I'm sorry. You know, you spin it. You do it another way, because from what I could tell, there were a lot of other things in here that didn't quite happen how it happened.
Yeah.
So
and that's how it is in every movie like this.
Yes. So you're fine. Make your movie flow better.
Yeah, and they didn't carry the character thing all the way through. They made it really just the journey of gamer to race car driver. There wasn't a lot of character in many of our characters.
Mm-hmm.
They had personality and everything, but they weren't developed really in any way. And that works, I think, actually, for this film. I mean, I had a good time personally. It works very well. Not great. I don't love this movie, you know. I'll start talking it up here in a little bit. But yeah, they could have had a scene where Jann was trying to describe how important the ecosystem is, the Gran Turismo ecosystem is, and how good he actually is, and how it maybe translates to real driving a little better than he might think.
We had just a hint of that, and they knew that. They knew that that was the hint, because they brought it back up again in the end, where I think he's in his room, he's playing, his dad's by the door, and he's like, watch this, see how they're following the line? I'm not going to follow the line. And then,
yeah,
you know, but
it's true.
That was just that in the first act. That was fine. It was okay. It was like, oh, okay, you don't play by the rules. All right, I got it. And then bringing that back up though.
Well, that was the setup, I guess.
With a flashback. No, they gave us a flashback.
Oh, did they really?
Yes.
That's funny. Because that's kind of fun on two angles. It's kind of cheesy, because it's cheesy in a good way from the angle of how anyone who's played lots of games in their lives have, when they were kids at least, when they were, I should say, maybe small children, or trying to get their parents in there to watch them do a certain thing on a game. It's just like any other kid doing anything else, I guess, because, you know, kids are always like, watch this, watch this, watch this, and you're just folding a piece of paper. What the fuck are you doing? We do the same thing with games, you know, we still do it too. You know, I do it all the time, right, don't I?
Yes.
And so there's a little bit of that cutesy cheesiness happening from that angle, I think. But he, of course, is trying to display that maybe there's more going on than first meets the eye. But his dad is not the person to try to convince on that level. His dad's not going to understand the taking the different paths and stuff and what's the optimal path of going around this corner based off of these conditions. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's the kind of shit you tell Jack.
Yes.
What's his name?
Jack Salter.
Jack Salter. And Jack's like, you know, it's just a game, boy. And or son. He seems like more of a son guy.
He does seem like a son guy.
I can say call him son. And that kind of does happen. Do we get a setup specifically with him and Jack? Saying him, we basically do, I guess, right? Where
but the brakes are glazed.
Yeah, knowing more because he's really familiar, knowing more about racing than he may come across because of the game. And that, I guess that does happen. And maybe that could have happened a little better if that could have maybe been built up a tad bit better if we had one instance of him doing exactly that with the lines earlier in the movie. And that would have paid off again at the very end there. But we got that. We can't get that literal situation twice with his dad and Jack. That would be
too much.
Yeah,
too much.
That's. I mean, maybe, but I feel like that'd be fucking terrible. That would be like, oh no, like this is all of a sudden some student level shit. But no, the first act is awkward. A lot of it is, and it's cute in some ways because our actor here, Jann's actor, he does come across as a little bit of a brat. Like in the sense that he will slam the door in front of you. He's like, no, you don't understand. This is, you know, that kind of thing.
Didn't he kind of do that when they were at the dinner table? He's like, I'm not hungry. And then he walked out. I think he kind of did that, yeah. So, yes.
He is that kind of character. And so that it works in some ways. But, and I guess it wasn't enough to lose me. Because I guess we did get that kind of back and forth with Orlando Bloom's character and Jack Salter. And that was kind of fun seeing the logistics of it all, I guess. Trying to get this organized and everything. We don't really get any flesh on that other than Orlando's character is just the means to get this ball rolling. He really is more than anything. He's pretty pointless other than the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, how'd you feel about Orlando Bloom?
Well, he's okay. I don't like Orlando Bloom in particular.
Because he was the shit along with
Yeah, he's in two of the most iconic series of all time, Lord of the Rings and Pirates. So it's, that's pretty cool, and he's great in Pirates. I love him in Pirates. I'm not really familiar with Lord of the Rings, you know.
Me either.
And I like his look, and he looks, he looks kind of like a young Antonio Banderas, and
that's funny,
right? Or at least when he was younger.
Yeah. Not
now. Now I think he looks like Kyle MacLachlan a little bit.
Yeah. Poor Orlando Bloom. What happened? Actually, he doesn't look like that in real life. I saw an interview with him and the rest of the cast. He doesn't look like how he looks in the film.
Oh, I wonder if they tried to make him look like that character a little more.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
Yeah, Danny. That's his name in the movie.
He was okay. He was.
What about his pronunciation of Nissan?
Yeah,
Did that bug you as much as it bugged me?
A little bit.
It bugged me way too much.
Nissan. Is that what he was? Is that it? Is that what he was saying?
I don't even remember. I just know it wasn't right.
Yeah, it was weird hearing it every time, and they made sure you knew. Kind of like they made sure you knew Jann was a fucking gamer. How many times did they say gamer in this movie? Probably 20 times. Probably
more.
He's just a gamer.
Leave him alone. He's just a gamer. Yeah, I was surprised to see him in the film, actually. But, not too bad. Like you said, he doesn't have any really outstanding parts or performances. He's just there because he was the idea man.
Yeah.
And probably has to, he's just there to chaperone.
Yeah, and to make sure the fewest amount of liabilities pop up and stuff. And
yet the most liabilities that could have happened.
Well, when he's FIA approved, that's just it. I think that's just part of the territory. But before that, he needs to kind of prove himself. Again, what do you think of the academy bit?
Yeah, so the second and last act were awesome for me. Well, maybe the third act was probably my favorite, but I liked the academy bits. I really liked that we didn't get a lot of character. I didn't really pay attention to that until you just said that it fits with this movie, and it really does. I didn't really care about them. I just cared about the journey. How is this dude gonna win? And then you see him in like the last place the whole time he's at the academy. So you're like, what is he going to do to stay? Because he's staying. This is his movie. I mean, I didn't know it was based off a true story until you said it maybe halfway through. And I didn't believe you, because why would they ever do this?
It's only the craziest marketing scheme of all time, isn't it? It's pretty badass. He still races today. Oh, you saw it at the end though, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I did. So you know he's going to, be a part of this. He's gonna win. So there was enough, story elements there to keep me entertained, keep me on my toes. Enough rivalry, enough cars are probably, I don't know. I'm thinking second or third on my list of really cool action-y shit I like to watch in movies.
Okay, you like cars?
Yes.
Car action scenes?
Yes.
Okay.
So when you fuck up a car scene, that's like the worst. That's like making, King Kong too small. No. Give me car, give me noise, give me chase. Make me almost have vertigo. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I had enough of that. I like that he fucking crashed with the, basically the instructor in the car with him. And like, oh God, how embarrassing. I love that little bit. I also liked the kind of, I guess, drama they tried to sprinkle in there at the end when they were, our main dude here and the rival did that final race, and they were, what did he say? Like, point something. He didn't, milliseconds? I don't know what he said.
Yeah, he won by 1,000th of a second.
Yeah. I was like, and then he was trying to say the other guy won. I don't remember his name.
Yeah. The favored one.
Yeah, the favored one. Because the other dude was awkward during interviews.
That's what they made it sound like.
Yeah.
And I don't know about over there in Europe, over there in England, how these sports players, athletes are displaying themselves on camera and interviews and stuff. But over here in the States, our football players and basketball players are fucking idiots. Not all of them, of course, but they shouldn't be. A lot of them, most shouldn't be talking, in a real speechy way. None of them are orators, right? So I don't know about those European football players and whatnot, but and F1 racers and stuff. But
you don't know. Maybe they have PhDs over there.
Maybe they might.
But that was just fun. It was funny. It wasn't anything weird or off for me there. It was just kind of funny that he was trying to be like, look, dude, this gamer is just not good for press. We need this other guy to win. And Jack's like, what?
No, he won.
He won.
Yeah.
I like that.
I like that too. I liked the whole kind of that whole act was almost kind of a montage-esque situation where we had this, like, they were going through all the training and one by one being eliminated and everything. I liked that. I liked all of the different activities they would have to do and push themselves and everything, because it also, if it doesn't do anything, if it does one thing, it kind of shows you that there is a severe level of athlete to a race car driver.
Yes.
Because, I don't know if people know, but it takes months and months and months and months to not throw up, to not pass out, to go, the speeds that jets go and stuff. And these cars are going not as fast as jets, but they're going fast for much longer of time, for dozens of hours sometimes. And you got to be in tip-top shape in every way. And so I think that did a really cool. I've never seen that in a movie. Not that I've seen a lot of car movies either, or sports movies in general, but.
And normally they're already kind of athletic in some sort of way.
That's true, yeah.
They're, I don't know, I'm thinking Fast and Furious people, but I don't really know what they do.
They don't do anything. They're just beautiful people.
Yeah, okay.
They're all jacked and toned and eat their greens.
I don't know their hobbies outside of
family. That's what they say. You know what I'm talking
about? Yes. But so they're already kind of athletic, so it was interesting seeing this here. And I didn't know that. I didn't know that they had to be this fit. And I also didn't know that they had to be small. It makes sense.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that.
Yeah, our dude here is like 10 feet tall.
He's 6'5".
He's not that tall. The real life character is not that tall.
Okay. Because they were saying how they had to shave off a little bit of his helmet to make him fit in the car.
That's hilarious.
Because he was so tall.
Our real Jann is 5'9". Not tiny, but
5'9"?
Yeah, but not a big guy.
Okay.
That's borderline small. Let's look up average height of F1 racers. Okay, the average height is 5'9". But they make a little cutesy joke about the actor being tall too in the movie. I thought that was funny Jack. I think Jack made the joke where he was like, "We got a tall one here" or something when he was looking at him at the very beginning of the academy and stuff. He was like, "Do you even know how tall a race car driver is?" And yeah, you remember that?
No, but that's funny.
Yeah, because I knew that was gonna happen because that dude's big.
Yeah, and you brought up in that little montage thing, having the elimination and showing us one by one as they walk off, which I really enjoyed that too. And I guess another kind of numbering like that was when they would tell us what place he was at during his races. And I really liked that.
You like that?
I did.
That's cool.
And then I liked how they would have it on the side, like a game, and show you there too.
Yeah, like a lot of playback kind of replay features and racing games will basically have the little kind of line above them, and you'll be able you can follow it on the track and stuff. And yeah, it kind of reminded me of that kind of stuff. And yeah, that was nice little tethers to its gamification.
So how'd you feel about like the saddest fucking part? Well, I guess that wasn't the saddest part, although it should have been. But him crashing.
Well, yeah, I mean, what do you think about including the crash in the movie?
That was awesome.
Because it kills someone.
Yes.
That's a pretty catastrophic little incident that happened.
That was awesome that they made his car. I mean, I don't know if you've ever driven fast in your car, but I have driven fast in my car, and I have gone a little too fast and went over a similar bump, and I felt like I lifted, and I probably didn't. I just was going so fast, and maybe I did. I don't know. But if I did, it probably wasn't that much. But this dude went fucking
90 degrees.
90 degrees and flew. I mean, I felt my stomach just kind of do some flips there. And I even made a joke when that happened, because there were some spectators sitting in lawn chairs like over there, and I was just like, why would they be sitting there? They're gonna get killed. And then the next scene, it was Jack telling him he fucking killed someone. I was like, I mean, what were they doing there in the first place? First of all, why are you gonna risk it like that?
I mean,
it's like those I don't know what it's called, but when people do the bikes, the one in France when that lady stepped out and caused everyone to fucking
like the Tour de France.
Or whatever it's called.
Yeah. It's
like that. Why are you stepping out? Why are you there so close to these people that are operating? I mean, it's a bike in that situation, but they're operating heavy speeds, heavy machines.
And there's tons of them.
And yeah.
That was a huge pileup too.
Wasn't she like charged with something?
I don't think they actually
they threatened,
ruined her life, but I think they did ban her. Yeah, they threatened her and then banned her from coming back.
I mean, Not saying that guy deserved it, or whoever was killed. I don't know if it was a guy or girl or, old, young person, whatever. Not saying they deserved it, but maybe not put yourself in those situations. I don't know. Just saying. That was insane.
Well, I mean, everyone involved knows how dangerous racing is. From every angle, no matter where you are, unless you're not there, I guess, and it's not dangerous. But if you're involved in this, it's a dangerous sport, and they say that several times.
Should have saw it coming.
And I guess you should have saw it coming. I didn't know that was part of his story, and I thought it was pretty wild for them to include it and show it, basically, in the most inoffensive way. We didn't see anything nuts other than the car, I guess. But I guess it's also hard to not include, because that is for level-headed folks, probably for every pro driver, that's probably a very, kind of paradigm shift moment in life where, a similar thing happened with Jack where he crashed real bad. I don't know if he killed someone. I don't think he did.
Someone died.
Oh, another driver died, right?
The other driver died, caught on fire.
That's right. And it shook his world. He couldn't do it anymore and stuff. And so it's one of the biggest deals that could happen in the sport, having a major crash like that and then having, someone get hurt in it. And so I mean, it's hard to not include it if it's part of someone's story, but I was surprised to see it in the way they showed it.
And then they showed it like that, and then they transitioned to his mom screaming, watching the TV.
Which is pretty good.
Which was, oh my God, it was awful. It was awful to watch.
The only problem I have with that from a like movie standpoint was I wish the mom was a little harder on him too in the very beginning, because she was just not super supportive, but she was just like, letting him do whatever and stuff.
That's what moms do.
That's fine and all, but I wish she would have just been like, I don't want you to get hurt kind of thing.
Okay.
And then he gets hurt, or he got hurt.
He did get hurt,
but but it looked like he could have. It looked like he could have definitely died.
Yes.
And that would have just been a nice tie-in, nice payoff for that. Just a little thing like that. I kind of wish we didn't get anything really from the mom, except that was her big moment. Mm-hmm. And then we get a similar thing with the dad.
They should have made the dad react like that, like the mom reacted.
No, because his moment is.
Oh my God, his moment. That's what made me cry.
We can't have two of those, That's the same thing. And that moment's really great. That's definitely that's the best moment in the whole movie. And I remembered where he's from. He's in the Guardians. He's one of the guys that hangs out, the blue guys.
Yes.
The Reaver, or the Merle from Walking Dead. I don't fucking know his name.
Yeah.
But he's mixed up in that. He's from other stuff. He's in a bunch of movies, but that's his superhero placement.
Okay.
But yeah, that scene where another weird thing about his parents is did they not come to any of his races sooner or come to the academy or anything? Like,
I was thinking about that.
They were a little not involved for a little too long, I feel like.
Yes.
But maybe it helped build that tension for the final release where his dad comes and has that moment. But I thought that was a little weird, especially, when he was hurt. He almost died.
Dude, my parents would have been on a fucking plane.
Yeah, I think
most parents would.
And at that point, he was pro.
Yes.
So he has all the means to get them there.
I mean, if that were my kid, I don't know how I would do it, but I'm going.
Yeah, I thought that was a little off.
Maybe it's supposed to show us that that's how pissed he is with his dad, that,
Maybe. But at that point, your kid's not going to, it doesn't matter what your kid says. Whether he pays for it or not, you're going to go. So I don't know. I felt like that was a little strange.
Yeah.
But maybe European culture is different. I don't know.
That's true. Because when the mom calls him and she's talking to him and he's maybe at the hospital or recovering, like, oh, your dad really wants to talk to you. Like, my mom wouldn't have been like, oh, your dad really wants to talk to you. She would have yelled at me. You almost fucking died and you're not talking to your dad? Here he is right here. I got you. Talk to him. Talk to each other.
Yeah, it was funny. I That was weird, but it wasn't enough to take me out of it or anything. There was a lot of fun in this movie and nice story beats. I guess I will say before I forget it, I think this is probably the best video game movie too, next to Mario. Those two are the two best ones. I think this is much better than Uncharted.
What about my favorites?
What are your favorites?
Resident Evil.
Well, see,
You're not. You don't count those.
and this is kind of in between the two because Uncharted is much more of a video game adaptation, and Mario is kind of a video game inspiration.
Yes.
And this is not really based on a game, just inspired by a story that revolved around a game.
Right.
And Resident Evil is this total tangent of a series that's more popular than the games.
Yes.
So I do have a hard time putting Resident Evil in the video game movie category. But yeah, I think this is better than any of the Resident Evils yet.
I'm not gonna agree to that.
So I think Mario's probably still number 1 for me, and then Gran Turismo is probably number 2, and I guess Uncharted's probably number 3 as far as movies go. I guess The Last of Us would be number 1 if I included that.
Yeah, I'd have to think about that.
So, but I guess it's worth saying. I haven't said it on the record yet. I said it after Uncharted and Mario. That I'm glad that we're kind of in an upswing with video game movies for the most part. It seems like they're not the worst of the worst now.
Yeah, like Monster Hunter.
I know that was like the final absolute dog shit one. That was it. That was the end.
I don't even think I finished it.
That was the final chapter in that.
Yeah.
That was made by the guy who does the Resident Evil films.
For real?
Yeah,
what happened to him?
Well, he's a terrible filmmaker. That's Mia Jovovich's
yes.
husband.
Yes.
That's why she's in it. He employs her. Nothing wrong with that. I'm surprised there hasn't been another Resident Evil film. I guess they did kill all the zombies at the end of that. Spoilers. But surprised they haven't been like, there's actually a virus ZZ that makes super duper zombies. Let's talk about the scene where his dad comes in.
Where I cried like a baby?
Where you cried like a baby. That's probably, I'm not going to lie, that's probably one of the best movie cries I've ever seen on camera. I can't remember what he was showing him. I think he showed him the picture of
the bird, right? He showed him the bird.
That's why he showed him
helmet.
the sticker, and he started doing the shake cry.
Ugh.
Like he was crying so hard that he was shaking. His head was shaking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
That was awesome. I couldn't fucking believe my eyes. I was like, oh my God. This is actually way too well performed for this movie.
Yeah.
That was good. That was excellent setup, obviously, with the bird. And that's good storytelling because that's the logo of his old team, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't even know if I finished watching that scene from, having to wipe my eyes. But it was great. And just the way they shot it to where, they hug each other while crying, and we just see the dad.
Yeah.
We see the dad side of the hug. It's like, damn, that was good.
It was very good.
Is it the best cry?
It's one of, for sure for me.
I don't know. I'd have to think about that too.
At least between two people. Maybe not like a solo cry.
Like alone.
And these instances would have helped. It kind of, in a way, I guess it sucks because it kind of highlights Jann's actor. Archie, in that he wasn't super good. But they also didn't give him a lot of character to make that, to pull that out of him. Mm-hmm. So it's, I guess, hard to say. But it does, his dad's performance and his dad's just look and, just his seasoned actorness, I guess, kind of does beg the question of like, what if there was just a little bit more character in these guys. But then again, I guess maybe we don't want to tap too much into the cliche sports movie. Maybe Neil felt like the film was already going to be pretty long and didn't want to push that 2.5 hour mark or something.
Yeah.
Because that's a big pill to swallow. There's not a lot of films that can ask for that kind of time. You have to be an Oppenheimer or a Scorsese film or whatever, right? And this is just Gran Turismo, right? It's just a normal movie fare and stuff. And of course they had a budget and everything. So maybe there was something to that as well.
Yeah,
about
maybe.
Not wanting to push his character out.
The only time I see a little bit of character from him pop out is when he gets mad at that Kappa dude. I think he like tries to push him off or, bumps his car and then damages his mirror. And then when they're done with the race, he like wants to start beating him up. And at first I felt like that was a bit out of character for him. But then I don't know why that would be out of character for him because I don't have a character for him.
Yeah.
So that was just a bit weird. Like, didn't know where to place that kind of interaction from him. Like, whoa, you're a fighter?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, what do you think about the dirty Italian and his Lambo? And I guess his Porsche friend. They were like ganging up on him. They're kind of the ultimate antagonists in this film.
I thought that was fun.
Like that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that. I guess one of them really gets what he deserves.
Yes.
Which was an awesome bit too, when his car, he runs off the track during one of the last races too, where he runs off the track and bursts into flames, and you're just like, he's fucking dead. Like, we got another person died in this movie. What is this movie? And then he gets out. That's unbelievable that he gets out.
This might just be me. I don't know about you, but I feel like I can. It's gonna sound so silly saying it, but I feel like I can relate to him in the trauma way when I got into my car accident and I hydroplaned and fucking smashed my Nissan into a concrete wall. That was scary. That was so fucking scary. But just seeing the guy burst into flames and him just, because that was after his accident, right? So
yeah, that was the last race, I think.
Yeah, so he was kind of experiencing some PTSD, and I don't know, it just made me think of that. That's how I get. Maybe not now. I'm good. I'm a little bit better now, but that's how it would get every time it would rain. Just like, just kind of PTSD from it. So I like that. I like that they did that. They brought it back, and then you feel for him, and he's lost. He's out of it.
Yeah.
They have to bring him back.
Which
is how I felt driving to work in the rain.
Yeah, like I said, that kind of wreck is just, you can't, that's going to be part of you for the rest of your life. So they had to include it in the film, and I'm sure that was controversial because of an unwarranted death.
I'm glad they did that.
But yeah, I feel like it's completely necessary to the story. And they deliver in the way that they're trying to build up the hype within the viewer and cheer him on and stuff, and to get out of his head and everything. Mm-hmm. And that's when we have the real father-son, mentor-student relationship kind of climax too, where he fucking pulls out Kenny G and Enya, where where he pulls him out and he's like, what the fuck are you doing? That was good. That was good. That was all good setup for that, and I guess that I'm sure that has roots in the real Jann,
mm-hmm.
which is hilarious in its own right. But they do a good job maintaining that, and it turns out to be a pretty effective film. I'm really surprised that I like it.
One of the things I didn't like, and we haven't talked about this, is the romance.
It's awkward, isn't it?
It's so awkward.
It's probably the last really awkward thing that starts in the beginning and then just continues throughout.
And that's one of the biggest things that didn't happen in real life.
That didn't happen in real life?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay.
So why? You trying to say gamers can get girls? Like, what? Why?
Oh, yeah, that should have been cut completely.
Yes.
That was weird.
And I think I heard someone reviewing the movie, and they said that they should have cut out all the bits with the girl and the romance, and maybe made more of a family connection. Like, use those minutes to really connect with the family more.
Maybe, and I was thinking maybe they can make the girl be his childhood friend, basically, in the very beginning, being like, they want to get out of here, kind of thing. Very cliche thing, where they want to get out of their small town and go to Tokyo, go to New York. and he could keep up with her and stuff, but just kind of that's it, and then she can be part of the celebration at the end,
When
kind of thing,
he's-
like you made it, and then she can make her thing too or something, or at the very end she'd be like, I can't remember if we knew her like dreams or whatever and stuff. I know she wanted to go to New York, but maybe she was a writer and she was like, I got published, I'm an editor or whatever, I can move to New York or something now, that could be part of the end.
Yeah. And, she came to his signing, so that could have been like that's the moment you bring her back from childhood. And then, she shows up to this big moment of his.
Yeah. And that would have been very effective. That would have, simple. Because the romance thing forces a little more, or it should in theory force a little more character out of the people involved, and it doesn't.
Yep.
She's just this person on his screen half the time, and then after that she's just arm candy, I guess. Like she's just there to remind us that gamers can get girls too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that was weird. That was I don't know, that was all weird. And then when he wins the race, they have this like big kiss moment, and I just wasn't feeling it. In real life I'm not about the PDA, but in movies I'm about the PDA and the, just I love yous and romance comedies and whatnot, but you had to have gotten me from the beginning.
You got to earn it.
Yes.
You got to earn a lot in a film, but you got to earn the romance. You got to earn the sex, the kiss, the marriage or whatever. You got to earn. These are things that you build up to. That's the payoff, and we don't get any payoff.
Yep. It was weird.
Or we don't get any proper storytelling from that angle because it's just not possible with what they gave us. But they forced it on us. I figured that would have been a real thing because of how shallow and how they didn't really know where to take it. It was just kind of shoot in at the end of every 15 minutes.
Nope.
No.
Real dude here didn't get a girl.
That's a very...
Or maybe he did and it just wasn't her, but he didn't... This wasn't part of his journey here.
Yeah.
I'm sure he got many girls after. I don't know.
It's weird coming out of a non-American director because that's an American trope, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Or at least a Hollywood trope. So maybe I guess this is still a Hollywood film. So maybe Hollywood transcends borders. So
he was like, well, I got to include the girl somewhere.
Yeah, it's part of the criteria
the checklist
to be able to be attached to this movie. Yeah, that's unfortunate because that does hurt the film.
Agreed.
Yeah, I hate to hear that. That's okay though, because it's still effective on some level because our Jann here is kind of an awkward person, and so having that awkward relationship on screen kind of marries that idea a little bit. But yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I wonder if his brother was also like a soccer player, because that was like, I wonder if he even had a brother, if that was just like for kind of dramatic reasons, like your brother, your brother's doing something with his life, because you'd think it'd be basically the same talk they'd be having with his brother. Maybe they did. I just didn't really pick up on it, but because we all know, so getting into sports getting into any professional thing like this is such a lottery ticket, right?
Is it?
Yeah, I think
in this situation,
I think so.
I mean, he put in the work, he put in the hours. It's not just the rando.
Yeah, no, half of it's lottery ticket, half of it's skill. Yeah, you have to be among the best, but there's thousands of the best, and you can't. We only need a few. So that's where you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What do you think about Jack's projecting and weird? He kind of had a weird character too, because it felt like he was obviously a little sour about the whole racing industry, but it felt like he kind of got pushed out based off of what he was projecting to us. But he actually just quit because he was like, they're gonna hate you, I hate you, everyone's gonna hate you, everybody's gonna make fun of you. You're a gamer. It felt like he was maybe bullied out, but he wasn't. Kind of strange too, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
I will say David Harbour plays a grumpy guy pretty good. Because I guess he's a similar character in Stranger Things. He's a little bit more of a, I mean, we end with him being kind of warm-hearted and stuff, but he's very warm-hearted towards Eleven and everything in Stranger Things, but he plays that grump pretty well, I think.
He plays it super well. It's basically like Lightning McQueen and Hudson.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
It's that kind of relationship, and he's a city boy. City boys aren't gonna blah blah blah.
What do they know about racing?
Yeah, which is funny because that rated as my favorite Pixar movie. Go listen to our
Ultimate Pixar ranking.
Yes,
on Patreon. Go check it out there
if you're interested. But it has those vibes. So he played that part really well. I really like him in this film and in Stranger Things. I mean, I think he's a great actor. Is he my favorite here? Maybe. I don't know. I don't think I have a favorite here.
Yeah, there's not a lot of character here throughout, but yeah, he's definitely my favorite just because he's the loudest character. He does have the most personality at the end of the day too. So, and I like his sourness towards the industry. I wish we could have gotten a little bit more of that, but they really did just kind of chalk it up to like, oh, I quit. It's just like, oh man, I wish there was a little more to that, and I'm sure there is, but they can't. The movie was 2 hours.
Yeah, that's true.
We were pushing a long time, which I think it was surprisingly decently paced.
I agree.
At least for like story beats and everything.
No, I definitely agree. There wasn't any part where I thought I was bored or ready to, turn it off or look at my phone or something distracting. Even the sections with the girl and when she came and
they made them quick.
They explored Tokyo. Yeah, they made them quick, and they had this cute little thing with the Walkman.
I know, right? That was cute. Yeah. That was kind of like Guardians of the Galaxy too, right? With the blue guy given the new. Yeah, that was cute like that.
And then I really liked the joke he made, or I guess he wasn't joking, but it was, I guess, a joke to us when she was like, "You want to order some champagne?" And he was like, "No, champagne's only for the podium."
I like that.
I liked it.
They said it like 3 or 4 times. I was just like, "Come on!"
I liked it
2 times, 2 times max for stuff like that. I know the 3 times the rule of threes or whatever is important to film and whatever, but that kind of stuff, man, I feel like it was said more than 3 times. It may have been only said 3 times, but that instance in the end. Whatever the last one was, but yeah, I like that too. That was cute.
That was cute. But all that could have definitely been cut out to add more of a, give us more Jack.
What do you think about the whole Nissan angle? And I guess that's probably rooted in reality, where Nissan was maybe needing a driver for to represent, and we had Kaz from Polyphony Digital. He's the creative director of the games. We had him make an appearance.
Oh, we did?
When he was doing the signing, I think when he was signing the contract for Nissan, he was there and stuff. And did this film, not to really say it's a terrible thing, but did this film feel like an ad for Gran Turismo?
It felt like an ad for Nissan.
It kind of felt more like an ad for Nissan than Gran Turismo, didn't it?
Yes. It definitely made me want to go play the game and get a wheel, but it also made me want to go buy a Nissan and go fucking race it. So it made me want to do both.
Okay.
So yes, it was an ad for sure. 2-hour long ad. Now I'm thinking about my next car
with some story beats. That's awesome. Yeah, because you see the iconography it's a little more overt because it's not in the game world. There's no game world in Gran Turismo. You're just racing cars. It's not like Uncharted where Uncharted is its own universe. The Last of Us is its own universe. So you can't sell The Last of Us within The Last of Us. They can't play The Last of Us in The Last of Us. Like, that'd be incredibly stupid.
Yep. Although that's funny.
So it does run that risk a little bit more to be. Well, I guess I say that, but in the Twisted Metal show on the very first episode, in the first like 5 minutes, I think the box for the original Twisted Metal falls on his windshield, and so you see it. So
that's funny.
That does happen. So I
That's
guess
funny.
if that happens, I guess it's fair game in The Last of Us too. Because similar situations, and they're both post-apocalyptic, and
Yep.
I guess
It could happen.
it could happen. I hope it doesn't. That'd be insane.
And that's also interesting you bring up it being kind of an ad, because at one point, I don't know who says it, I think it was Jack, and he says, kids don't want to drive these days, or something like that. I don't know how he said it, but he definitely implied that people don't want to have cars. They don't want to drive, which, I don't know. Is that true?
Maybe. Saying that on the back of going from gamer to race car driver, can maybe inspire all the people who are all the rolling chair people out there to
get out, get some sun.
Get out and get some sun, get behind a wheel.
Get behind a wheel.
100 years ago, they were probably saying, no one wants to walk around anymore. Everybody's trying to get behind the wheel and drive these fucking tanks.
No one wants to ride horses anymore.
Yeah, that's probably what they say.
That was funny. That was funny.
I think that's inevitable, though, and I think they do it pretty tastefully. Of course, like I said, they go a little overboard on saying, like, you're just a gamer, dude, and it's a little silly and everything, but I didn't hate it.
Yeah,
I didn't hate it. I could have done for less of that, I guess. But the highs were high enough that it kept me up there, so.
And, it worked. They didn't start saying it and then stop. At least they were consistent.
Yeah, that's true. That's funny. All right, man, what do you think of the poster? My favorite time of the day. The Wikipedia poster.
I'm not too angry with the poster, but I don't love it.
The poster sucks.
Damn.
Why is there a helicopter above Gran Turismo? What the fuck is that?
Because he rides a helicopter.
I don't care.
And he's like, why am I going to watch him from a helicopter?
I see that, and I'm just thinking about the illustrator, the artist, the compositor, just being like, all right, we got a little bit of empty negative space right there. What are we going to put there? Helicopter. Like, oh my God.
Okay, get rid of the helicopter. Make the car bigger. Way bigger.
We should have had a close-up on the car.
Yes.
It should have been, they should have looked at all of the Gran Turismo boxes, all the games, and decided which one was the best, which is 4. Gran Turismo 4.
You're already picking it out
I'm
for
already
them.
picking it out. And they could have taken the same composition and just put the Nissan. It may even be a Nissan on it already.
So I'm looking at the Gran Turismo 4 PlayStation 2 box, and it looks fucking great. That looks awesome. Why didn't they do that?
Yeah, something like that. Even Gran Turismo 5, I just looked that up. That one's not bad, too. It's just same thing, but from a different angle, basically.
What? That looks great. All right, well, the poster sucks.
Yeah,
Why you show me this?
you want simple, kind of poppy. You don't want, the collage thing is only effective, like just in general, the collage thing is only effective when you're basically making some kind of political statement. You can have a collage of stuff that it's going to look like a throne. It's going to look like a certain flavor of political cartoon, I guess. And not that we have too much of a collage thing here happening versus like Blue Beetle or Iron Man or thousands of other posters. But we have something that's awfully close. And, we got the symmetry across the x-axis. And then we got this random I can't. It makes me throw up. The Cars poster looks just like the Gran Turismo 5 poster.
That's funny.
It's even a red car.
That's funny. Even Cars, the Disney Pixar Cars, has a better movie poster than you. Wow.
It happens all the time.
All right, well, work on your poster designs, people.
Everyone, yep. You can contact me. I can at least give you a composition, and then you guys can fill in the colors. All right, what do you have a budget guess for me, man?
This one was hard.
Yeah.
Super
Cars.
hard. Yes.
Cars. Yep.
And then, I don't know. PlayStation? I don't know. It's not that big, but it's big to me, so I don't know. No clue. No clue here. And then we have some pretty strong actors and some pretty weak ones. So, not weak ones, but just not as renowned. So, this was really hard. So I went with 100, which I was going to go 150, but that sounded way too high. Okay. But there were a lot of cars, so.
Yeah. And lots of stunts.
Although.
We don't talk about stunts a lot. Lots of stunts here.
How the real Jann was his own, not his own, but he was a stunt double.
Yeah.
For the dude playing him. I don't know how to phrase
That's funny, isn't it?
Yeah, that's cool.
That's very cool, too.
So maybe they didn't have to pay him a lot.
Maybe. It says here that it cost $60 million. So this movie was made on somewhat of a budget.
Oh.
I'm a little surprised, too.
Me too.
Yeah. And it went on to make $117 million, so.
Okay.
As far as I know, this film was advertised a lot. So.
Here?
Is that, yeah, at theaters especially, yeah. And I'm sure this was super heavily advertised in Europe, if I had to guess.
Oh, I bet.
I bet you most of that box office is from Europe because, racing's much bigger over there.
I don't know why. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because we have a really interesting car culture here, but it's not racing car culture. It's the souped up big vehicles, big wheels.
How shiny can it look?
How loud can it be?
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Yeah, it's not the compactness. It's not the dexterity of it. It's not
even the speed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just the loudness kind of literally and figuratively. And so it's kind of a funny thing. But yeah, racing, we have NASCAR. NASCAR's huge here, but it's nothing compared to like F1 and all the other series they have over there. Yeah, so I'm not sure if that's making money, to be honest, but if I had to guess it's real close. It's probably just over that line. Well, man, do you have a game for me today?
I do have a game for you today. We'll see how this goes. So this game that I haven't come up with the title is inspired by our movie here. How we have a game turned to real life scenario, so to speak. So I'm going to name a game turned real life, and you're going to let me know if... You're just going to let me know your thoughts on how viable it is. Does that make sense?
Maybe. I don't know. Let's see.
All right. Guitar Hero to find the next big star. Good idea? Bad idea?
I'm going to say bad idea.
Why?
You said why?
You never seen me play Guitar Hero. Have you?
Because I think the mechanics are all wrong to help facilitate that. I think the game that might be better is Rocksmith, but
all right.
But it's a little too maybe literal because it's a guitar hooked up to a game and you play the notes.
Still, I mean, this is Gran Turismo is apparently literal too.
I mean, that's true. They're kind of. I mean, maybe Rocksmith would be better then. Yeah.
To find the next big guitarist.
It's a little less exciting for some reason.
No, I think people would be all over that. No? Is that just me? Am I just the enthusiast here?
I'd watch it. I'd like to see that. It'd be,
all right.
Is this gonna become a whole genre? Video game to pro?
They will after they hear my list.
Okay.
Ready? Dance Revolution.
See that?
To find the next backup dancer for like a big star.
Or just the dancing
dancer,
folks. Yeah. No, that could totally work. I feel like I feel like we've already accepted that.
We have.
Yeah, when you have DDR people, doing their thing,
yes.
You're like, God damn, they are.
You're right.
You know what I mean? It's
yes.
like, it's impressive just watching them. I feel like removing the whole machine that they're in front of, won't change that much. Like we're already impressed.
You're already impressive. Yeah.
I guess with the Guitar Hero thing too, that it's a similar impression, but only for people who get it. You know what I mean? You got to get the rhythm game to understand Guitar Hero. Anyone can see DDR and be like, what the fuck is going on, you know?
I'm gonna test that. I'm gonna show my dad, who's probably the least
Gamer.
impressed. No, I'm just gonna show my dad. See what he thinks.
Has your dad ever played a game, like mini games? I know he's good at. I know he likes Dig Dug.
Dig Dug.
Has he ever played Mario? Any of the Marios?
No, I think he's an arcade guy.
Yeah.
So probably whatever arcade games.
Fighting games?
I don't know. Probably just the Pac-Mans and the
Okay, so
Dig Dugs.
the Atari arcade kind of games. Okay.
All right. Next scenario.
The DDR film would be the better of the two so far, though. I will say that. Even though it's the obvious one, it would be the better one.
All right. Wii Sports to find the next big star sports guy or girl.
That's a good one. Yep. This could be like a triathlon type thing, too.
Yes.
Where they play a bunch of different sports.
They play tennis and then bowling and then I don't know what. I guess they had it was the Wii Sports and then they had
boxing.
Oh my gosh, yes, the boxing. They had the other one where you had like archery and
Wii Resort?
Yes. And you had to buy the little whatever it was called.
The little pack on your remote.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That would be funny. That'd have to be a comedy.
That'd have to be a comedy, yes. All right. I couldn't really think of any games, and Google sure didn't help, but just any gun game where you have
Call of Duty. The military's gonna call you up.
No, but you have a gun.
Oh, okay.
Like I for some reason I'm thinking an orange gun.
Yeah, Duck Hunt.
Yes, and like you had to
NES.
No. I think PlayStation had one.
Well, I think
where you had to place like the sensors or the camera. I don't know. I just remember my brother having an orange gun and he had to like shoot at the corners of the screen to calibrate it. But that's all I remember.
See, I also had an orange gun where I had to shoot at the corners of the screen, but I got this gun from a flea market. It was a fake. It was a flea market game. Does that ring a bell? Like, does that strike with anyone?
Yes.
Because they at the flea market they had these like, the fake.
The Bobo.
The fake consoles, basically. Yes. The 1001 box with, it had like actual. I don't know, like super knockoffs of like Mario and all these other games and stuff. And I know there's like controversies around that stuff where the deeper you get into some of these consoles, they have like weird ass games on there, like super weird, like sex games and like just disturbing games and stuff.
What the fuck?
It's crazy.
So one of those.
That would be
to find the next. I don't know. That maybe that's what we use to recruit our military. I don't know.
Not Call of Duty.
Huh? Well, they don't have a gun. Like, I was trying to think more simulation. Like, you have an accessory.
But maybe the people are controlling, like, Android type things, and they're having to move them around like that.
Yeah, sure. Let's go with that. How about that?
So, the military's going to start calling up people who can 360 quick scope.
Oh, my God.
People on Call of Duty. No scope.
That's impressive to me.
I'm impressed.
I'm impressed.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Are people is your dad gonna understand that when he sees that movie?
No, he's not.
These fucking robots are spinning around in a circle, crouching really fast and headshotting folks with no scope. Is he gonna understand?
No, he's not. He's gonna say some things that
he's like, what the fuck is this?
Yes. What has the world come to? I don't know. Thank you for playing that with me.
Oh, you're welcome.
There's some movie ideas out there for you guys.
Those are some free movie ideas. Wow.
Yes.
That's crazy. Well, man, do you have any final thoughts for me?
No final thoughts.
Yeah, I think I'm all final thoughted out.
I'm thoughtless too.
Decent film. I'm impressed. I had a good time. This is better than Blue Beetle.
Yes.
Not that they're competing on anything other than being released around the same time and are moderately high budget. Many millions of dollars. They're movies, right? You can compare them, right? Is that?
Yeah.
I'm excited for the future of video game movies. I'm I really am. I don't know why, but the specific medium, the specific style or whatever inspiration of film is kind of speaks to me.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I don't hear a lot about video game movies. I don't keep up with them, so I don't know what's in the queue. If you know, that's cool, but I don't want to know. I'd like to be surprised. But yeah, I'm excited too. Hopefully we are on the big upswing. Hopefully it's not a little tiny swing.
I hope we're close to the point where, you know, a 3.5, you know, in my eyes, kind of 3.5, 4.0, maybe a 5 out of 5 even. I wouldn't be mad at that. Kind of movie pops out of this inspiration of film. Because Mario is still at the peak, at the front of that, and it's not because it's a great movie. It's just the great level of cuteness, right? Great level of animation and everything. So it's waiting for that one, you know. And I don't know what that is. That we all, I guess, even the corporate overlords and, you know, producers and everything want to prove this on some level. There seems to be this weird need to prove video games over and over and over again that we're an art form too. And it seems like movies, for some reason, are that answer to a lot of these execs. And so I guess I don't know what that is, but I think I feel that too on some level. But not literally, because I know, you know, we all know video games are one of the most powerful art forms to ever be. But I don't know, there's something nice. There is something, like in my mind's eye, there is something desirable about a good video game movie being, like I should say a great video game movie being out there.
I guess you'll see it. You'll know when you see it.
Yeah, it's impossible to know for sure, but yeah, unless Ari Aster's going after it, then we know it's gonna be a great one.
All right.
He better not. He wouldn't. But yeah, man, thank you for watching this film with me.
Yeah, thank you. Really enjoyed it.
Good. I've been anticipating this for a while. I'm glad it was decent. I heard it was decent, so I was like, now I think it's gonna be decent. You know, it's in my mind. It's decent. Highly recommend it to all movie watchers out there, because it's got some interesting angles going on. Just don't think it's the next RRR or The Whale or something. You know? But yeah, thank you guys for listening to this episode of the Filmistines. You can catch us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for brand new episodes. Check out our YouTube, Google Podcast. Rest in peace at the end of the year. Go to our Patreon. Give us $1
or $2 or $3. All right. Let's not get greedy. Just give us $1.
$1.50.
$1.50.
But until next time, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And that's a wrap for today's episode of the Filmistines. Thanks for tuning in and joining us on our cinematic journey. We hope you enjoyed our discussion and gained some new insights and perspectives on the world of movies. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform, especially Patreon at patreon.com/Filmistines, and follow us on social media for more film-related content. We love hearing from our listeners, so if you have any feedback, suggestions, movie recommendations, or book recommendations, please feel free to reach out to us. Until next time, keep watching, keep loving the magic of movies. This is the Filmistines, signing off.
PlayStation.